Hi, this is Mickie Kennedy of eReleases, and we have a special edition of Ask Mickie because we have a special guest, Turbo Kitty, who my daughter felt should make an appearance in the online community. Anyhow, in today's Ask Mickie, we have Bernetta writing, I'm old and new in the business. That is, I was in the business for a long time and have been away from PR for about 7 years. It looks like most people are emailing press releases rather than snail mailing them. Is this correct? And also, if I don't have the budget to use your services, what's the best way to get my press release out? Well, Bernetta, you're right. Most press releases now are submitted electronically, both through email as well as using online databases, websites, newswires like PR Newswire that eReleases uses. But if you can't afford a service like eReleases, there's a lot you can do yourself. Target 5 or 6 key media who cover your industry. You don't want to go any bigger than that because you really want to get to know these people. You want to do research as well as gain physical access to these people. What's their telephone numbers? What's their email addresses? Where's their office? Could we potentially meet for lunches or have a face-to-face meeting? That's all things that you can do. It's the same things that a starting PR or publicist would do. Try to establish relationships and build a Rolodex within whatever industry or beats that you cover. One of the things that you want to do when establishing these relationships is to avoid a restraining order or a backlash. And I'm sort of joking here, but you can come off a little too strong and really turn media off. So you have to get a sense, especially if you're a people person, of how receptive people are and what their boundaries are, and respect that. Some people don't want to be contacted by email, don't want to reach out over the phone. Some of them just want to be left alone. Others, email's fine, and for most people, email's fine. But phone might be something they're not comfortable with, as well as having sit-down meetings. And with so much being put on journalists, having to do more and more work with leaner staffs, they may not have the time to actually sit down, and you should respect that. You can also do faxing. Faxing works really well for local media. The face-to-face meetings is something that you'll have to sort of get a sense for. There are sometimes community things going on, and if you can insert yourself in those meetings where journalists are there, that might be the proper opportunity to meet someone face-to-face. Another method that you might want to use is a service like eReleases. It's expensive, but you get a lot of bang for your buck. You get targeting both locally as well as to industry publications and things like that. But you also get wide distribution, over the wire, hundreds of online databases. It's just your press release and stuff is out there, and journalists who are looking for stories will easily be able to find it. But I completely understand if you can't afford a service like ours. One of the things that I talk about is facilitating relationships with the media. What exactly does that mean? I mean, I talk about calling them, but what do you say or how do you start this? When you're starting cold with a journalist and you have no relationship with them, I say don't mention who you are other than in your signature, that you represent such and such client with their web address. You want to make what you're emailing them or talking to them about to be not about you, all about them. That they like their ego stroked, just like Turbo Kitty likes to have her back stroked a little bit. And so what you have to do is read their stuff. If there's something that you thought was really insightful, email them. Don't just make stuff up. But if you really are impressed with something they've done, share it. I mean, journalists very rarely get feedback, and when they do, it's often negative feedback about, hey, this isn't exactly right, or that isn't the way I wanted you to portray my company. So they appreciate that. Other things is if you have leads, what they cover. If you're in the same industry and you have an idea for a story that doesn't include your business, send it to them. Email it to them. After a while, this journalist will feel like they're in your debt, so that when you do have a press release and you reach out to them, it's not awkward. I mean, it's almost like they're expecting it and they want to, sort of give back a little bit after you've given them so much. It's something that anybody can do. It just takes time, and without having a budget, that's what I'd recommend. Start small, and go from there. And like I said, don't try to reach too many people at once. 3 to 6 people is really a great number to reach, because if they're the perfect 3 people, and you have a good chance of being picked up, as in they're not the Wall Street Journal, they're not USA Today, but they're places in which you have good odds of appearing, and you do your homework, you really can get in those publications. That concludes today's edition of Ask Mickie. If you have your own question, all you have to do is email me and TurboKitty. Just email askmickie@ereleases.com, and we look forward to answering your questions in the near future. Meow.